Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tuvas and I'm here today to bring you guys a new gameplay video of this brand new game in early access called VTOL VR. VTOL stands for Vertical Takeoff and Landing, and VR stands for Virtual Reality. Basically, it is a flight simulation game that utilizes only motion controllers for, controls. So there's no flight stick or throttle. Well, there is, but they're virtual. So you control them using your left and right touch or wand controllers for the Vive, or touch controllers in case of the Oculus Rift. Obviously, I had the Oculus Rift, but these are obviously not Oculus Rift controllers, touch controllers. These are Vive wands. Again, it's in early access, so you're going to see a lot of inconsistencies like this, but nonetheless, it's still a really fun game so far. So I thought I'd put together this quick video just kind of showcasing the basic concept of the game VTOL VR. So let's go ahead and do a quick flight. We're going to do island target practice where the enemies are not aggressive, but there are at least enemies to take down. So we'll go ahead and do that. Go to configure our aircraft loadouts. As you can see, here she is in all her glory. And you can actually specify what you want on each of the pylons on its wings, including the gun on the front. So I can choose to have or not have that gun because that's the only option there. But we can configure these pylons to any of these. So let's go ahead and arm it on the outside pylons with 3 AIM-9s, 3 rack AIM-9s. So equip is really cool. It just kind of slides on like that. That's a really nice touch. Then let's go back. On these innermost pylons, let's go ahead and choose the Hellfire missiles. These are laser and optical guided laser missiles, or anti-tank missiles, I should say. So they can either be guided with a laser for longer range attacks, or once you get a lock on, you can just let it do its own thing. So these are actually really good. And on the right, on this side, we'll do some more of the Hellfire missiles. And just for the sake of consistency, let's just put another 3 rack of AIM-9s. Air-to-air missiles. Okay, cool, and we're set. And as I said, that is the only option for the front mount, which is basically the A10. I'm pretty sure this is the A10 gun. The GAU-8 Venture. So that's already equipped, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, here we go. So we are now in the game. We're slowly being lifted onto our aircraft carrier. So we're going to start off by turning on the battery, as well as the APU, or the auxiliary power unit. We'll get the engines ready to go in a second. We're going to wait for the dial to go into the... Oh, it's already in the green zone. So we're going to wait for it to go all the way up. Now let's go ahead and turn left engine on, right engine on. And let those start up. So these will dial up and then dial back down once they settle back down. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and turn on all our different pieces of equipment here. So we have our multifunctional color displays, we have our HUD, we have flap controls, landing gear settings, flight assist controls, our flares and shaft dispensers, our RCS mode, so it'll automatically deploy or not, RWR, which is our radar warning receiver. We have a fuel port in case we want to do midair refueling. And of course our catapult hook for latching onto the catapult over there to launch that way if we don't want to do a standard takeoff. Or sorry, if we don't want to do a vertical takeoff. A landing hook for when we land on the carrier and catch these guys here. And let's see, so it looks like that engines is started. Let's go ahead and turn off the auxiliary power unit. Turn on the brake lock. Tint the HUD a little bit so we can see that it's there. And go ahead and set spectator cam to smooth look and start. Okay, so the view should have changed for you guys. For me, I'm still normal, but you should have had a little bit of a, a little bit of a judder there for a second because I activated smooth look mode for spectators only. So if I shake my head violently, you should only be getting a little bit of that movement. I was going like really crazy. I practically almost cracked my neck there. But it's made so that quick head movements aren't so bad for the spectator. Now, it does cause a bit of performance issues on the actual game itself, so I don't want to use it too often. So for maps where there's few enemies, we don't have to worry so much about the performance hit. We're on objective. That. Oops. Objective. Waypoint. Take us there. And then go back home. The equipment. These are all our armed weapons that we can switch on and off to. And leave that for targeting computer, and we're good. So one thing that's interesting, like I said, is that everything is controlled using motion controllers, including the stick and throttle. So right now my hands are actually floating in the air while I control these things. But the kind of the nice thing about this is that once I grab onto this, I can actually move. See where it says joystick? That's actually my hand moving in the real world. Meanwhile, the model hand stays on the joystick. And the only way you control it is by rotating your hand on the 3 different axes. But moving it left and right doesn't really control anything unless you actually rotate your hand. So this allows me to, 1, grab the stick, then 2, rest it in a position where it's most comfortable, like on my knee. Then from there I could just easily use the stick just like that. Unfortunately, this is a bit hard to do that with because you need the full range of motion, but this is easy enough to do. So let me reset. So I want my hand like this. I'm going to bring it over, grab onto that, and then rest it again. Perfect. Alright, let's get out of here. Had a bit of practice with this already, so I'm pretty decent at controlling the aircraft now. But of course there's still more to practice with.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
And now we're dipping too much. Let's go and pull that nose up.
Landing gear.
We got a full afterburner. And start flying over to our first set of targets. There should be enemies somewhere there. Yep, there is a foe right there. So let's go ahead and take control over our AGM missiles, our Hellfire missiles, and start launching off a few of these things. So we already have the lock, so now it's going to be guided by the optical sensor. Next target. Next target. There. All those are going to die right now. Let's get rid of the brake lock. Keep an eye on this. One, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Let's set this to forward facing. Now, of course, we have some infantry units there that we can take down with our good old Burt cannon. So let's go ahead. Oh, I still have my flaps all the way down. No wonder I'm not traveling all that fast. Don't forget to raise the flaps, kids. But good thing I actually need them right now. So let's go ahead and switch over to VTOL mode. Start hovering like a helicopter. Come on, pull that nose up. There's our targets. Just like that. Now we're slowly coming in. Instead of flying in like a plane super fast, we're coming in like a falling helicopter almost. Of course, we're going a little bit faster than a helicopter would, because we're still a plane after all, with engines that happen to rotate.
Landing
and just
gear.
like that, all enemies are down.
Landing gear.
Fine, landing gear. So it shuts up. Alright, with all targets taken down, we can switch over to new objective, but right now I kind of want to just fly through the city and show you guys what it's like to fly in VTOL mode in this aircraft. It's actually really nice once you get used to the controls. And the biggest thing for me was figuring out that I can rest my hand on my knee instead of keeping it on the virtual joystick. This is actually really nice, just to kind of like fly through the buildings. First, you always have to be careful not to overextend your what's called your joystick movements, because you can easily go into a spin that's not recoverable. And there are settings here for autopilot that'll make it easier to do things like hover in place. So, for example, flight mode, then engage altitude mode, and then it'll maintain proper altitude for you, or whatever altitude you set. So for example, right now, it's trying to adjust because I'm kind of fiddling with the throttle at the moment. If I stop touching the throttle, now it's just going to hover in place as best it can. And of course, I still have control over it. I can rotate it while it's kind of just sitting there in place. And this actually gives you time to sit away from targets and kind of just plot out your whatever it is you want to do with them. So say for example you want to stare at these targets that are already dead, but say you want to look at them for a bit, gives you time to, you know, mess with the controls. You can actually let go of the joystick if you wanted. Get forward, then probably zoom out a bit, then grab the joystick so you can control the thumbstick and aim over your targets. Now set them up a little bit like this, then lock on and then launch your missiles or something if you really wanted to. So it gives a little bit of hands-offness to the actual control of the aircraft. It's pretty cool. I saw the shadow on the ground, so I tried to figure out where the heck that plane was. And there are air-to-air targets as well. It's not just attacking ground. But I do have the most fun just kind of flying through the city here. So let's go ahead and grab that again, move it to our knee. Grab control of the throttle before we start descending too fast to recover from. Okay, let's go ahead and get out of here and start trying to take down some air targets so I can show you the other bit of gameplay in this game. So we're going to go ahead and get some forward momentum going, raise our landing gear, and start rotating our thrusters so that they go to more conventional aircraft mode. Full thrust.
Landing gear.
Wait for us to pick up some more speed. Moving forward a little more, until we get all the way down to 0 on our tilt setting, and then raise our flaps, and we're good. Alright, now let's go find some air targets. And as you can see in our RWR, we can actually see 2 fighters that are facing us right now. And there's that guy, and there should be one over here somewhere. Yeah, right there. So let's go ahead and go for probably this guy first. Okay. We're also going to switch over to A9s and go find our targets. Now this is where the arcadey bit of this gameplay comes in, because obviously in real life you wouldn't have a giant red marker to indicate this is an enemy. But this is a really nice balance between arcade and simulation. It's actually really, really fun to play, even if it's in such an early stage of development. Oh, that's gonna get him. Yeah! Bend it down. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go find the other guy. He's back this way. Alright, let's see if we can get some guns on this guy instead. Oh man, here we go. You got this. Pull that nose. On Pipper. Oh, where'd you go, Pipper? Come on, lock on. There we go. It automatically does that for you, by the way. Okay, on Pipper and release. Guns, guns, guns. And why am I still firing when he's not on Pipper? Come on. Got him. Right in the engine. And here's the air tanker. I still have not successfully air refueled. I mean, I know this game just came out, but still, I would have wanted to be able to air refuel at least once, and I just cannot do it for the life of me. I can at least fly by this thing and show you guys what the tanker looks like. Even just attempt to air refuel. I mean, I'm nearly half done on the tank already. Okay, let's go to navigation, nav mode, fuel. Then, oh, by the way, another autopilot setting is nav, and this will actually take control of the aircraft and bring you to wherever your next waypoint is. In this case, I've set it to the air tanker, so it's automatically going to take me there, but I can overshoot it, so I need to make sure to manage the throttle a bit as I approach. Now, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but let's try. And you do have a brake, which is your left trigger. So you can use that as the air brake as well as the wheel brake. Oh, God. Okay, let's try. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. But let's go ahead and RTB, because I think that was a good enough showcase of what's called VTOL VR's gameplay mechanics. Let's go ahead and head back to the carrier. We're going to do another first for me, and that is, so not necessarily a vertical landing, but a traditional landing, except on an aircraft carrier. Because I have yet to successfully just coast onto the aircraft carrier and just land on it using the landing hook. Because I am terrible at traditional landings in this game for some reason. I can hover around just fine, but when it comes to the actual just landing just normally, I can't do it for some reason in this thing. Oh, and one of the cool things about the spectator cam is I can actually set different viewpoints for you guys. For me, I'll still be in the cockpit, but for you, check this out. Now, just keep in mind, this is going to be loud because inside the actual cockpit itself, it's more or less kind of quiet, it's manageable, you can hear me just fine, but the moment the camera shifts to outside the aircraft, you're going to hear the engines just blaring, so audio warning, keep in mind. Alright, so this is fixed. It's going to show you different angles, so right now you're over there. I can see a tiny... Alright, so let's go ahead and go in for our landing. It's going to be terrible, I know it. Oh gosh, here we go. Yeah, you see it down there.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna go back around and try to land again.
Landing gear.
I can't believe I did that. Oh man, that was great. Okay, let's retract that hook. Up, and turn on that brake. Okay, let's go ahead and taxi back over to our actual area. So once again, grab the thing, bring it over, throttle up, and start taxiing back over this way. Dude, that was awesome. I hope that looked good on the recording. Watching when it like fall right off this freaking carrier after such a great landing. Even though it took 2 tries, but still not bad for the first time doing it. I don't know how to go in reverse. I don't think that you can. I mean, I could just rotate the thrusters. So I do that. And pull back on the stick. Yeah, there we go. That's how I can go in reverse. Just line the load a little bit and pull back. Go back to our parking spot. You got this. We're good. Alright guys, well, that was a quick first look at VTOL VR. If you guys have a VR headset, this is available for both the Vive as well as the Oculus Rift. It's obviously been developed for the Vive mostly, but it's still very playable on the Rift. So if you have either, obviously with motion controllers as well, please make sure to give it a shot. If not, at least check it out on the Steam store page, which I'm going to link in the description below. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until next time guys, have a good day.